Yeah, you see that one?
Yeah.
Can you get that one? It's a big one.
I want to watch it.
Okay, we can watch it. All my plants are in the garden. They're doing so good. Good afternoon, y'all. Welcome back to my garden. I am so excited. I am fully planted out for the season. This is the best time of year where everything is finally in its place. The wait is over. The hardening off process of getting plants in the house, out of the house, that part is over. All the plants are just chilling. Our nights are still getting kind of cool, if I'm being totally honest. They're still in the 40s at night, and my peppers are out. My tomatoes are out. So I'm not the best lead by example in that way, because I get so excited, and I waited as long as I could. I could have waited. But everything looks fantastic. It's so nice to see green in every single garden bed in the garden. Everything has acclimated exceptionally well to even these cooler nights, and we've had a couple since I've planted everything out. So I planted everything in small spurts over the past maybe 2 weeks, and it's been like during lunch breaks or nap time, so I really haven't gotten anything worthwhile filmed. So instead, I'm just gonna walk you through a couple things that have changed drastically since the last video that I made, and show you just some of the most beautiful things in my garden. Let's start with the biggie. My favorite thing that I grow every single year, hands down, is all of my peppers. Last year, I had an exceptionally good bell pepper year, and the year previous to that, almost no bell peppers. I really struggled. I got the tiniest bell peppers with kind of thin skins. Didn't really do what I wanted them to do, and weren't good or big enough for meal preps or like proper meals. Last year I found a variety that I really liked, two of them, the giant Chinese bell pepper and the monster yellow. And those are both in my garden this year, plus I think 4 other varieties of giant varieties of bell peppers. In my experience, bell peppers take forever to form a real big shape, and a lot of the times I can't even wait for them to change to their final color, so I will pick them green. So for me, size makes all the difference, because I have to wait a real long time in the season to get a decent sized bell pepper. So if I'm gonna wait that long, I want it to be big. I want it to be worth like 1 bell pepper for a big meal for my husband and I and my son. And then the other thing that I had to consider this year is my son, my 2-year-old, loves peppers. He eats an entire bell pepper like an apple. He'll just sit on the couch, go, pep, ask for it, eat the whole thing, just like an apple, just like turning, munch, turning, munch, turning, munch. So I have so many bell peppers this year. So this is the bell pepper bed right behind me. So I'll go over the varieties that are in this bed, but there are a lot for those reasons. We eat them a ton, we meal prep with them, and then also we just eat them as snacks. So this whole bed right here are like big, massive ones. There's a couple right behind me right here that are kind of more snacking size. And then 2 other varieties or categories that I will go over right after. Okay, I have them all marked. So in this bed, they are organized by rows. So this is one variety, this is another variety, this is another variety, this is another variety. You get the whole gist of it. So Yellow Monster is at the end. Then it is Big Bertha, which these are store-bought. The rest of them are from seed that I started in January. This is the Chinese Giant Bell, which are a little bit of a lighter color than the rest, but I fertilize them pretty heavily, and I think they'll deepen and get a little bit of a healthier tone or color to them. This one is the Ashe County bell pepper, Emerald Giant Bell. I cannot pronounce this one, it's French. Keystone right here, and King of the North down here. So 2, 4, 6, 8 varieties of bell peppers. The ones that I am most familiar with, like I said, are the Chinese Giant and the Yellow Monster. So everything else is more or less a test to see if they hold up to the Chinese Giant and the Yellow Monster. And then over here, like I said, I have a couple varieties. This is the bed right next to it, but this is kind of the leftovers. These are ones that were in okay shape, meaning they weren't super stunted. I have a handful of peppers. This happens every year. This is why I start so many. That kind of look not as great quality. I'll still plant some of these out, but this is kind of the health stemming color that I'm looking for. This also happens. So same soil, same conditions. Sometimes they just get watered a little bit different, or you know, the seed just isn't producing the quality that I wanted. So this is sort of the miscellaneous and some of the store-bought ones that I have. So these two are shishitos, which are tiny, great for pan frying. That's another Ashe County. This is a red Marconi back here. This one is a store-bought. This is a snackable red for the toddler. This is a yellow monster bell pepper that wasn't looking as great, but it's actually kind of shaping up and looks like it's going to be a double leader, like 2 stems, which is really great. I will take that. That one is unlabeled, which is now unfortunate. I don't know which one that one is. And then this one's another yellow monster. Again, really, really tiny one. If it survives, great. All of this around here are radishes and beets. They will be torn out within the next couple days. You can see this one, for example, is already starting to bolt. It's much taller. So what I do, I like these because they cover the soil quite well. Meaning like the sun just isn't hitting it for the first couple weeks of warm weather. If these are sizable, I do eat them, but to be honest, ultimately I just pick them and I lay them back down as mulch, or I throw them in the compost. So that's this miscellaneous bed. And then down here are my 2 paprika varieties. This is the Magyar paprika pepper. I have 4 in here. These are broccoli plants that, again, probably won't like the heat that's coming in the next couple weeks and will bolt and have to leave. That's fine. And then these are, oh, I can't say the full name of it. I should get the seed packet. I just call them Leut paprika peppers. L-E-U-T. There's a whole longer name. This one's looking a little weak here, but there's 1, 2, 3, and again, a really, really tiny one in the middle that probably won't do exceptionally well, but it's there. These ones did fantastic for me last year. I have had an abundance of paprika peppers. This is one I've seen online that is a great recommendation. All of them are already starting to develop, and some of them have bell peppers too, little flowers. And for the meantime, especially because we have cooler weather coming, I pick these off, and I'm hoping that these will acclimate to the weather a little bit better, get through these colder nights, focus on roots, strength, and height. Because these plants will all get as tall or taller than these stakes here. So as long as they're acclimating well and focusing on growing tall, I will have an abundance of peppers, most definitely, by the end of the season. Coming right down here on the edge of this bed is my spicy pepper bed, and this year I'm doing only 3 types of spicy peppers. In the past I have done a lot more. I'm keeping it minimal, but I will say I don't feel like I have enough jalapeno plants, and that's making me think I might go to the store and buy some more started plants and plant them where my garlic is going to be torn out. I think that might be the right move. I'll show you where that's going to be. These are cayennes down here. There's red and orange varieties in here. This is the jalapeno. You can see the sectioning by stakes here. Jalapeno in the center, and then my beautiful purple Bueno Mulata, favorite peppers ever. Those are down at the end. Down here is some really not good looking elephant garlic. So this in June will certainly be pulled. I don't know what this is going to look like. I have fertilized them. They still don't look good at all. I'm seeing a little bit of splitting. Either way, these will be pulled out in June, whether they give me anything that I can use or not. So this is one location where more jalapenos can absolutely go. I'm going to, once this garlic is out, top it up with compost and new soil and fill the bed to the height because there's some room, but also clearly there's something in the soil. Maybe it's grubs, so I'll go around and look for that when I'm pulling these up. I will look for any pests that could be an issue. But anyways, these are not doing very well. I'm keeping an eye on it. I'll hopefully refresh this area and make it plantable again. We'll see how that goes. But the garlic that is doing fantastic is down here and in this bed as well. They're doing fantastic. And the two, maybe three types I'll say are really showstoppers right now are the music, which is over there. This one, which is the Chestnut Red. These are really strong stems. Everything is green and very upright. And then the Italian Early, which is down here. It's a little droopier, but they have far exceeded the height and size of the other ones. The one that isn't doing the best is the insulin garlic, which is this. It's looking weak. I don't know if it's just because of our weather going up and down and up and down. I did fertilize these the other day, so maybe they'll make a little bit of a comeback, but they're looking a little weak in the middle, so we'll see how that goes. But right down here, I have planted, I don't remember if I've ever made a video about the onions, but I've planted onions throughout my garden. Some of them are doing really well. Some of them not so much. Again, this is a complete test. I've never planted onions before, and I would love to just make a couple garden beds just for onions. Onions and peppers are what I cook with by a long shot. So the recommendation for all gardeners is plant what you actually eat. Things like tomatoes, I like to make sauces. I like to make salsas. I enjoy experimenting with that, but I really don't reach for those. This year I'd like to focus more on pizza sauces, a couple tomato sauces. I had a ketchup recipe last year that I really liked. I'd like to just use those and learn to can a little bit better than I have in the past. But for fresh cooking, onions and peppers is always what I reach for. So this is an experiment. So far, what are the ones over here? The Utah yellow onions, they're doing the best. Those are there. There are a couple onions here. That's the tag for them. There are a couple really just all over. I've planted them in different places because all of my soil is different ages. This is 2-year-old soil. That is all new soil. There are some at the end of that bed. And then this is my best soil in this whole bed, which is 4 years at this point. So just testing a couple things out. The tomatoes have done fantastic. Technically, they don't like colder nights. I have had 0 issues with my tomatoes this year. So they're buried in quite a lot of green in here, but there's one here, one right there, one at the end, and one right in there. So there's 4 on this trellis. These peas are attracting too many aphids. I'm gonna get rid of them sooner rather than later. I did not plant these early enough at all. So all the ones on this trellis, that trellis, these I might keep because they're really not having anything to compete with, and I might keep those over there. I think that should be fine. These, this one and this one have tomatoes, so there's tomatoes right down there as well. These tomatoes on this trellis in particular are starting to get ready and big enough where they are going to start leaning and need some more support. So these will be the first ones to come out, most definitely. The Johnny Jump Ups are thriving, as they seem to always be. There's really nothing that gets these flowers down. I'm thrilled to have them. They reseed like crazy. All of these are from just a couple tiny plants. Fantastic, love them. Will continue to have them literally all over my house. I've planted 2 packs of seeds of them in my front yard, in my front bed in front of my house, along with some snapdragons. But these are just fantastic. I love the colors. I love that they just are chilling. Cold weather, warm weather, whatever you need, they're there. So happy to have them. Lastly, as a fun update, this bed looks pretty crowded right now, but that's kind of partially the intent, and then partially it will be emptied out. This is another bed that has a number of radishes. Ooh, that's a nice big one. that I will either eat or throw back in the garden as living mulch. Totally fine. Well, living will be dying. The leaves will just die on top of the bed. This is the my goth garden bed, and there's a number of purple and red things in here right now that I'm really obsessed with. Some cool veiny looking flowers. This is some salacia, I think is how you say it, which is gonna get too much sun in the spot. However, what I'm planning on putting right here is a giant black elephant ear, and I had one last year. If I can find a picture, I'll put it on the screen. But it will shade this out, and this should do just fine and have less sun damage. We'll see how that goes. This giant red plant, which I don't know if I have the tag for, it was dragon something, but I got that really early in the season, and it's just vibrant. I've never seen something so red like that in foliage. This one, I feel like my toddler's taking tags out because I definitely put more tags in here. This one does have a tag, so I'll show you this one. This one I got on clearance. A Harmony Fuchsia plant, so it's similar to the other one, and it has droopy little flowers like this. A cute one, but I mainly got it for the foliage. This is like a shiny, almost like holographic looking leaf. It doesn't show well on camera, it seems. And then just a couple other things with really dark foliage, flowers, that kind of a thing. I think that's a potato vine. And then these are a bunch of sunflowers, which I was going to take out originally, but again, I think it will shade out the rest of this, and that's a good thing in this case. I think the sun really shines on this bed pretty heavily midsummer, so the more things that give this shade, I think the better. I can always take some of those sunflowers out if I need more sun hitting these and the plants aren't doing well. So this greenage foliage will definitely go away. A lot of this is just radishes that can be pulled out. So when I'm ready to get that elephant ear in here and add a little bit more height, because that's my goal here, that will look super, super nice when this grows out. I'm hoping that these flowers kind of tumble over the side. This will certainly start to tumble over the side, and then this potato leaf will definitely just come down and take over. So it's looking a little less gothy than I wanted it, but once these super early spring greens are out, I think it'll start getting the dark girly effect I want. So not a full garden tour, but certainly seeing a ton of progress in the garden this year. I'm very, very, very stoked to see more growing on the trellises, seeing a lot more of those flowers really form. Once the tomatoes and the pepper plants get more height, the picnic table where I started this video is really going to feel walled in a good way. It's going to feel a lot more magical. So I'm very excited to see how things start to really fill in, grow up, because vertical gardening really just like takes my breath away and makes me feel small in my garden, because it just like, there's plants everywhere. I'm looking up at all these plants and harvesting, standing up and reaching up. It's so cool. So I'm so excited to be planted out. I'm so excited to have less responsibility taking care of little seedlings and caring about germination rates. I like that part of the year because I miss it over winter, but once it's over, it's like, thank God I'm not hardening off plants anymore and worrying about overwatering, underwatering. When do I need to feed these tiny seedlings? So now it's just getting to come outside and stare at plants and like enjoy it and be like, grow faster. So fun time of year. The weather is so good. The sun is out. I hope you're enjoying this time of year like I am, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks, guys. See you around.